Welcome to Season Chasers. I'm Rob Freeman. Those that love nature and outdoor sports spend a lot of quality time looking for adventure throughout the year. The more you study, the more you learn about the peak seasons in nature. It's fun to know when it's best to go fishing or hunting, when it's time to pick blueberries, wild mushrooms, or native pecans. Sometimes the peak season is close to home, right in your own backyard, or it could be miles away near the mountains and the sea. Either way, this program will chase the seasons where the action is hot.
Today, it's a taste of two seasons on the show. We'll take part in a special dove hunt near Parsons, Kansas, just after the last days of Alaska's silver salmon season, as we study, learn, and share the great outdoors.
Today, me and Russ and Johnny have walked down to the tidal pools of one of these clear snowmelt streams, and we're targeting the silver salmon that are just coming in. And Russ has two of them on the stringer. I've got one here, and the cool thing about these is they just came in and have sea lice right here on the tail of them, which means they've been out of the salt water for less than a day. The sea lice die once they get into the fresh water and fall off within about 24 hours, but that means these just came out of Cook Inlet and are about as fresh as we can get them at the peak of their life cycle, at the maximum flavor and nutrition. And we're going to fillet these out and get them in the freezer bags and get them over to Anchorage. But Russell and Johnny are having a pretty good trip here so far. Russ has got the biggest pike so far.
Johnny gets hooked up with our first silver salmon of the day. We're getting a full dose of the coastal breezes out here on the flats in this state wildlife refuge in Alaska. The tidal pools down here are the gateway to the spawning river where these fish will end their life cycle. Now, these are the kind we want to selectively harvest. The daily limit here is 3 silvers a day per person. Today, we parked out on the road next to an ultralight aircraft. The pilot had landed out here on the road. We fished for several hours and only saw the pilot as he headed back to his home base.
All right, that gets us started. Ready for the stringer, ready to go to Anchorage. Good job, John. There we go. Damn paradise.
These gusty winds might make for a bumpy ride in that airplane, but it doesn't seem to bother the fish that much out here. I cast one downstream just to get the spinnerbait right in front of an aggressive silver salmon.
Some of these are getting a little rosy. Even in the tidal pool. Big one. And he got loose. But we might have let that one go anyway. It was a little bit rosy colored, and we're going to be picky and just try to get the ones that are really, really fresh and silvery looking. But I think there's more in here. I'm going to try to keep after them. Johnny got the first one on the stringer. Russ is working upstream. I think there's fish all over. We're going to share it with you today, Season Chasers. Thanks for coming along.
You can see why this is one of my favorite places to fish. It's a small snowmelt river, but it has all the natural elements to sustain an annual crop of salmon, and today we're catching the silver variety.
Here we go. right, this is why we walked on down here, to haul out some silver salmon like this. And this is a pretty nice example of the silvers coming back to this river. And what are your plans for these, Johnny?
Dinner.
We tried some of it last night, and we're here to tell you it's pretty good. And we're going to do our best to fillet these out. Get them to the freezer. Good job.
Another day in paradise.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice one too. Fresh.
Break you?
Yeah. Oh man, it's all good.
Well, we know they're in there.
Yeah.
Broke you off. Wow.
You don't got any spinners, do you?
They're really getting expensive. Yeah, there's one in there.
Oh, spinner.
The season is summertime. We're here in Alaska, and it's getting to be about the last week of the month of August. And I don't know how it is at your place, but I've got on a jacket and a long sleeve sweatshirt and a pair of waders to be out here on the river today. And we've got a foggy morning, so that should be just about ideal conditions. At this point of the summer season, we've probably got enough fish in the freezer to take care of us and others for the winter time. So today's outing is mainly catch and release for silver salmon. And we're out at this small river that targeting some of the ones that are just coming in the later fall silvers, almost fall, sometimes bigger than the early ones. So in order to do that, I'm going to share with you today some of the techniques that you switch to when you're doing that catch and release. And one of my favorite lures to use here is a Blue Fox Vibrax spinner. This one is the number 5 size blade, and it comes rigged with a treble hook on it, but inside the package comes with it also a single Siwash hook, which means it has an open eye that you can pinch right on where the treble hook came. So what I'm going to show you right now is how I trim off the treble hook, put it aside, put the single hook on here, and it's just fine for catch and release. Get a few less snags in the river, it's much easier on the fish. So that's the kind of catch and release action we're shooting for today, and here's how we rig the Blue Fox Vibrax spinner from a treble to a single hook here on Season Chasers. Wherever you're fishing in Alaska or anywhere, if you pack in any kind of packaging that ends up being garbage, make sure you pack it out. Nothing drives me crazier than going down to a wilderness stream and finding a whole bunch of people trash. But we pack this in, so we're going to pack it out. The way to do it is just to use your pliers, your cutting tool, and cut through the eye of this hook. Bend it out. This is how you remove the treble hook from the brand new spinner. Now, like I said, we set this aside in a safe place. Now you switch to the single hook that came with this, and it has an open eye on it that fits right on the lure. Let gravity be your friend here. Use your pliers, pinch that right down. So what you've done is installed a single hook where there was a treble hook, and we're going to put it on the fishing rod here, add a little water, see how it works.
I think I'm gonna keep this one just to bring home. You mind?
That tree's really, really good.
I think it is. Woo! How was that, Rob?
Good one. There you go.
That'll get you going.
Oh, that's a nice,
Well, yeah. Just
nice fresh,
one to
nice
take
big
home.
male.
Yep. Too good to pass up.
Good job.
Real good, too.
This one hit a number 4 vibrax spinner that we found on a log over here. So that turned out to be some pretty good luck for Russ here.
Yeah, it did.
And he's wanting to get one more fresh one. And I think this is a pretty good specimen right here. Nice chunky silver salmon. I can see pretty clearly that it's hooked on the outside of the jaw. So this is a real prime candidate for letting him go. Like I said earlier, we've already got a lot in the freezer for us and others. So we're gonna let this guy go. He's a big old male. I'd have to take him out of the water if possible. There he goes. He's just fine. Catch and release, silver salmon. A lot of fun here. We're right where the last of the big trees are on this river, and we're getting real close to the ocean. So the fish that are in here, pretty fresh, and we'll see if we can't find a couple more. This is a time of year when other fish are spawning out, and here's a pink salmon that has already nested somewhere in this river, and the birds have already pecked the gills and the eyes out of it, and something's going to eat the rest of it. But it's that time of year when there's food just about everywhere for the critters. So that's why we've seen all these bear tracks here today. And we're going to throw our salmon back, but some of them are here to feed the birds and the bears and the rest of the critters, and that's how they do it up here in Alaska. When you're fishing on this river, you are likely sharing it with a lot of other critters. And here's some pretty deep tracks in the mud that we're following. Looks like a pretty good sized black bear. And it looks like it's got a cub with it over here. So we're going to keep an eye out for the critter that made these tracks, and see if we can stay out of their way and manage to share the river. Have some fun out here where they spend a lot of time. Now here's another track behind me that's most certainly a brown bear track. Now here's one way that you identify the type of bear that's leaving tracks. This is the front paw, and these are the toes, and you can see how far the claw prints fall ahead of these toes. This is a brown bear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And black bear's claws fall closer to the toes, where the brown bear claws are several inches long. And we don't want to see those claws up close or anything, but you sure can tell from looking in the sand what you're sharing the river with. In my professional opinion, the bear that stopped here has been eating berries. Lots and lots and lots of them. And this is the time of year that they try to gain as much weight as they can before they go into the den for hibernation in the really, really cold winter here. But there's a lot of food value to these berries, and it looks like they process some, and we're unable to process the others. But there's food on every corner out here right now. Between the berries and the salmon, there's plenty to eat for the bears, and we're going to keep an eye out for them as we head on down the river today on Season Chasers.
As the Alaska salmon season comes to an end, another season is just opening up closer to home. Up next, the dove season opener, Southeast Kansas, today on Season Chasers.
Blue Ribbon Farm and Home has nature's best fall decoration. Blue Ribbon Farm and Home has what you need to feed and care for the wild birds. Blue Ribbon Farm and Home sells supplies to attract trophy whitetail deer. And don't forget, Blue Ribbon Farm and Home has a huge selection of food for dogs.
Whether you have a lap dog, a sport dog, chickens, or a goofy goat, Blue Ribbon Farm and Home has all the feeds you'll ever need.
You talk about a goofy goat, and this is the goofy goat right here.
Next, we run down to the airport to meet a plane bringing in our fresh supplies. More outdoor fun for you coming up next on Season Chasers.
Extreme environments can cause a spontaneous change in DNA, resulting in unexpected power and agility. Introducing the all-new, all-powerful Gator RSX 850i. 62 horsepower, a fully independent multi-link suspension, and a top speed of 53 miles per hour. It's a whole new species of Gator.
You're invited to attend a fundraiser for Allison Spears Carter. She lives in Joplin, but went all through school in Pittsburgh in the same class as my daughter. The music starts at 1 o'clock this afternoon, and I hope to see you there.
The season is summertime. It's the first week of September, and there's just a little bit of summer left, but this marks the opening of the hunting season here in southeast Kansas. And we've come out to the Kansas Army Ammunition Plant near Parsons, Kansas for a special hunt here on some cut sunflowers. And been a lot of doves flying today, and we're going to let you in on the action that we got in on here today on Season Chasers. It's dove season. Thanks for coming along. Think we ought to go out in there? Those other guys left.
Did they?
Yeah. Over here. We're here, Fred. Get this bird over here. Pretty tough target to hit, these doves, but it's a good preseason tune-up out here.
Today, Jason and I are on a special dove hunt on state-managed land at the old Army Ammunition Plant near Parsons, Kansas. One thing I learned real quick is that doves love sunflowers.
Well, everybody, it's a nice sunny morning out here, and we're in Parsons, Kansas, on a special dove hunt this morning. And we're here with Rob Riggins from Kansas Department of Wildlife, Parks, and Tourism. And tell us what you got put on for us here today.
Well, today we had a dove hunt, special dove hunt. We're on a special area, a restricted access facility, and we have 3 sunflower fields that we plant specifically for dove management to attract doves. And this is about our 3rd hunt we've had, and we've got hunters coming in after they've hunted and having a little fun with a little cookout here also. So.
We get set up just before sunrise and use every method possible to capture the action of wing shooting for doves. The moving decoys are designed to attract flying doves, but it's clear to me that the sunflowers are the star of the show.
hunting has been really good. We've experimented somewhat with having an opening hunt and then no pressure on the fields, and this is the third hunt and we're still seeing success, and there's still doves in the field, so we're hoping we might get some more hunting out of the deal.
Well, the only thing I could probably advise people on coming out is be sure and bring enough shells, right?
Bring enough.
These are some fast flying birds.
Yeah, they are. And when you have as many hunters and birds in a field as we have, it's pretty advisable to wear safety glasses too and be seen out there.
Well, something I noticed in the field I was in, everybody was taking real safe shots. You're shooting up against blue sky and not taking low shots across the field. But I was amazed at how those birds were coming in and landing on the sunflowers with all the people around the field like they were.
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't give them a lot of credit for being that smart, but they are good flyers anyway.
Lots of activity in the sunflower fields this morning. Jason crouches down in the ripe sunflowers, popping up now and then to take a shot with his trusty side-by-side shotgun. The daily limit in Kansas is 15 doves. It's the first hunting season of fall, so make sure you have a current hunting license and a HIP stamp. Doves are migratory birds, and the HIP program helps track the population numbers from state to state. Well, the doves keep flying, and it doesn't take long to spot more coming into shooting range. It may be a low percentage, but we all get limits today. 1 dove for every 4 shots is about how we finished up, but that's a lot of action on a hot, steamy morning.
Well, we had a couple of them fly in close to our barrels, and we're going to take a few home today and put those up and have probably a nice beginning of the season dinner on them. But it's really nice for these guys to come in and bring some fish that they've caught this summer and cooking up some fresh dove, and I guess that's just a great way to enjoy the outdoors.
Yeah, it kind of shows you what kind of folks we have that are outdoorsmen around.
Now, what's the best way for people to participate in a hunt like this if you're going to have another one?
Follow the newspaper or give us a call on our dove hunts. Now, our deer hunts, turkey hunts are all by special permit. It's a drawing through Kansas Wildlife and Parks website through the Special Hunts program. So access is restricted, and so is the number of folks and times. So,
but on the short drive that we took into that south field, I think we saw about a half a dozen deer, and 3 of them were bucks still in velvet. So, looked like you got a pretty good population of everything over here.
Yeah, we sure do. It's fantastic, and we're doing our best to get people in here, even though we're under lock and key most of the time.
Well, you keep a good watch on this place, and if you get a chance, like I said, watch your local news, and if you hear about a special hunt out here, I would really recommend it, because we had a lot of fun here today, and looked like just about everybody's having fun.
Well, good. That's what we're here for.
Good way to enjoy the shooting sports, get the season started in a good way, and we hope you're having a good dove season too, and I'd like to share it with you today on Season Chasers. Thanks for coming along. And we've had a really good morning here. Red's been helping us bring back the birds we knocked down, and we've been doing a lot of fast wing shooting here. And these doves are really fast flyers. I've got nearly, well, a little over 2 boxes of empties over here to show for the limit of 15 that I got this morning. So a lot of A lot of really challenging shots here. They're really tough to hit, but we've got a really good, nice limit of these, and going to get them ready for a special meal coming up real soon. We hope you have a good dove season. Thanks for coming along today on Season Chasers. How about that, Red? You have a good time? You betcha. Let's pick up all these empties and get them out of here. Wow, that's a lot of shooting for no more birds than we got, but hey, that's the way dove season is. But we're glad to get out here and have some fun and enjoy the shooting sports and get it started for the season. After that, we've got pheasant and quail season, we've got deer season, and later on turkey season. So it's all about the seasons, and we're getting started with doves today on Season Chasers. Thanks for coming along.
Waka waka. Tune in each week for some of the stuff you just won't see on other shows. Outdoors, wildlife, and a life of adventure. Being on the lookout for natural foods and making the most of what the wildlife provides.
Study, learn, and share the great outdoors with someone who's important to you.